Well, that was a boring episode.
Right? We didn't find out anything.
Nothing. When will stuff happen on this show?
I know, right? Can we finally get just a little bit of information? Finally?
They didn't reveal shit.
Right? Mm-hmm. I'm praying to God that, like, the people watching this haven't seen the Gravity Falls vlogs, so they'll just be like, fuck! When they look at me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shaved woodchuck face.
Yes. Anyway, this is On the Run. What I like about this episode, it starts off with some exposition, and then I think, oh, is this just gonna be a runaway story? Like, shit, we're gonna get one of these, and then it just like dumps into like this whole
Then plot
bunch.
dump. Total plot exposition dump.
A good mix of a lot of plot and a lot of character. This is one where we find out they are kind of fugitives, just not bad fugitives. You know, it's
I don't know who to believe.
you know, these gems were going to do something really bad to the Earth. They don't say
Well,
what.
according to them, I mean, we haven't heard the other gems side of the story.
True. So they're going to do something really, really bad, and they broke off and said, no, we're not going to be a part of that, and we're going to stick with Earth, and we're going to protect it, all that stuff. That seems to be what they're doing, going around, stopping all these monsters and other gems and stuff. Yeah, Amethyst especially doesn't sort of like the way they're talking about it, so...
She was born out of a cliff vagina.
Pretty much. So her and Steven decide to run away like the Runaway Boys, or the No Home Boys, that's what
The
they
No
were.
Home Boys.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's some sort of spoof between like the Hardy Boys and the Boxcar Children.
Okay, so were the Boxcar Children, like, were they really on... I have no idea what that show is about, or not show, books series.
It was a series of books, I want to say it was like written during the Depression because it's the sort of thing where they have boxcars and children travel.
Is that the thing they travel like on the boxcars and stuff? Are there like runaways or
I
whatever?
remember. Okay, I don't think I've touched those books since the 3rd grade, so I want to say yes that's what happened, and they solved a whole bunch of mysteries, most of which were pretty freaking pedestrian.
Okay.
Like
somehow only they could solve it.
I mean, it makes
It's like that group of teens in their mystery van. It's like, how the hell are they the ones that solved this? Yet somehow the police and all these other people.
Well, the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew always had that feeling of like, oh shit, there's real danger. I always seem to remember that Boxcar Children, there just was none.
Who stole the pie? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of like.
So anyway, so they run away, and Amethyst takes Steven to her home, which it turns out is not in a galaxy far away. It's right there on Earth.
Well, it's on Earth!
And she was mined, apparently, and...
Do you know how the orcs will be created?
that was my first thought, was like, Urukai!
Now perfected.
And Amethyst was one of the bad gems, apparently. She came from a place of, like, the bad gems, and she...
harboring some major animosity there. There's some unresolved issues going on.
Obviously. And...
she and Pearl get into a throwdown.
Yeah, so it's a nice animation on that
A cat fight of gemic proportions.
Yes. And, she says that it's still her home, and she is always seen as a mistake, and... Pearl says, I didn't know you thought that way. I thought you saw it as, like, you're the only good thing that came out of this mistake or whatever. So the more bad she talked about, the more good she thought she was making.
You're not a mistake. You're just a byproduct of
the mistake. Yeah. Good one, Pearl. But they still have a nice little hug, and they realize that they're family, blah, 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 all the good stuff. And then this weird little edit at the end where it's like... We see it, and then we just see a little bit more in the background. The music's like, and then it stops.
What, the music's Tim Allen?
Pretty much. Now I'm just thinking this whole episode was like soundtrack by Tim Allen. That'd be amazing. Let's do that. Somebody out there do that.
It's Steven!
It's Steven! That's Scooby-Doo, I just but no, this obviously got not only a lot of plot out of the way, but really shows a nice character between Pearl and especially Amethyst, who I felt like we haven't seen that much of in a bit.
So
like,
I guess maybe they were gonna colonize Earth, or
that's my thought.
I don't know. Like, and again, we're getting this from them.
I mean, they found these gems and these mines and
They certainly
stuff
wanted
like
to keep
that.
it secret from Steven. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if I like it. I find this highly suspicious.
I wonder if it's like War of the Worlds, where they were always kind of there, like even before mankind evolved, they've just always kind of been there. And then they were
it seems like they were mining more gems.
Yeah, so or maybe they're bringing gems to life on Earth.
Army of the Undead or something. I don't know. Like,
yeah. But I love the design of that, whatever, the kindergarten, which it's nothing like our kindergarten, apparently. But just the designs that play, it just looks very threatening. You're kind of waiting for something to come alive, and it never does. But I like that. You're kind of
I just want to hear, like, orc music, like, jump, jump,
yeah,
jump,
so do
jump,
I. I totally do.
Gems.
But what
Gem is my name. Gem.
but not the movie. Clearly not.
Gem.
But yeah, I think some of the things I like are very much like, when Pearl says, you can't defeat me, and she says, I don't care. I like that. It's just a pure acknowledgement. Let me just fucking get this
My favorite
out.
line, because it's totally something I would say if I were fucking pissed, is, I don't want to fight you. I wouldn't want to fight me either. I love that line. I was like, that was great.
Well, and something that I think this addresses pretty well, and again, I think this is sort of opening up Pearl's character as well, is that, which is something I fall victim to, I can be very naive about this stuff, is that there's this acknowledgement of, well, I see things a certain way, so clearly you must, and I can see that with Pearl.
Because it's all about you.
It is all about me, clearly. Was that something I'm not supposed to see? Oh, you're wrong. Anyway, it's very much, Pearl saw that the more she was sort of digging into how terrible these other gems are and where they come from and stuff like that, the better she was making her feel, because she thought, well, you're the only good thing that came from this. Clearly you know that. I mean, she just knows that she's the only good thing that comes from it, and she doesn't always feel that. She doesn't always think that, to a point where she actually forgets it. If it was even ever really acknowledged or said, Pearl just sort of took it for granted. That's like, oh, she has to know that.
That's really insightful. What are you on?
What, you think that's not it, or?
No, I'm just like, that was actually insightful. It's new experience.
Oh, well, thank you. Aren't you kind? Some naive things that you miss sometimes, too.
Oh, I didn't miss a thing. Except for that Evangelion reference in the previous episode. I did totally miss that.
They say that in the comments or something?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what a random thing to bring up. I'm sure
the funny thing is,
you watch anime, don't you, Rob? Shame!
No, that actually pretty much was the tone. It was like, I can't fucking believe Rob would miss the Eva reference. The funny thing is, I normally don't read the comments, so I would have kept missing it, but there were a couple that I just saw them on your Facebook, so I'm like, alright, I was scrolling through quickly, and they're like, he missed the Evangelion reference. I was like sitting there racking my brain. I'm like, what Evangelion reference? I was like, I totally would have. I had to keep thinking. I was like, okay, it was the game one where he kept going through the challenge at the very end, and then it all lights up and everything goes, yay, you did it. And I was like, it was, yay, Shinji, you did it. I'm like, I get it now. And you have no fucking clue what I'm talking about.
Not even a little.
Because you didn't watch Evangelion, and you should, because it's amazing.
I just hear it's amazing, and the ending is like, what the fuck? That's all I hear.
Actually, it was a reference kind of to the ending.
Yeah, I sort of figured.
The funny thing is, I love Evangelion. That went totally over my head. It wasn't until somebody mentioned, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that was an Eva reference. I guess I was taking it at face value that they're like, congratulations.
But there you go. I mean, it's something that you just don't even think about, and it's just like, oh, like how could I miss this? How can I miss this very obvious thing that I didn't notice? Again, tying it back to the episode. So yeah, I think that's something where I like it. Again, Adventure Time kind of does this too, where they really sort of hit these marks that's like are good for kids, but it's like they really hit for adults too. That's kind of, even though I technically like Gravity Falls more, I like the characters better and the story and the jokes and stuff like that. The one thing that I acknowledge, I'm like, nah, these art shows have it better, is that their messages are more adult, and I like the fact they're sort of taking these messages and saying we can start teaching them young. The Gravity Fall messages are usually, we know the message at the beginning of the episode and it just follows through. But it's fine because they have all these other things that are great. Where with this one, it's with this at Adventure Time, it's kind of like, oh, where are they going with this? What are they going to say with this exactly?
The Gravity Falls are more like Boxcar Children. there's a mystery.
Yeah.
What was the name from the On the Run?
The No Home Boys.
The No Home Boys, yeah. A little more No Home Boys.
Yeah. Well, I think every kid, I think, has that fantasy of running away. It's hell, I think adults are getting it kind of now too. I mean, I think everyone sort of has that
Run away,
dream or that
Simba,
fantasy.
never return.
I think they have that fantasy of like just leaving everything behind and starting anew and just going somewhere, the open road or something like that. You know,
It's called a midlife crisis. Don't panic.
But I mean, like,
If I see you buy a fucking red Corvette or like a Harley, I'm just gonna sit there and be like, all right, I'm gonna shoot you now.
and take your car.
Yeah, because it's done. And
But no, it's something I know I would probably never do because it's like I like my home too much. I'm way too much of a I like my comfy couch. I like my comfy bed.
abandoned all my shit. Well, and that's
I love my shit.
Steven's like realization was exactly like mine. I would have been like, they make it look so soft, but hay's really itchy. I want to sleep in my own bed.
Yeah, we grew up on a farm for a few years, so we can testify. Yes, it is itchy and hard.
Smells,
and,
too.
Yes,
It's dusty.
It's really, yeah, it's pretty fucking unpleasant. There is nothing pleasant about it.
A barn is not pleasant. There's
No,
a reason
it's
they
not a
refer to it as a
pleasant place.
barnyard smell.
Yes, and it's definitely something. It's like a farm is nice,
And
a
it's
barn
the-
sucks.
It's the sort of smell that it never leaves your nose truly.
Yeah,
Because when you go to a zoo or a petting
it's there,
zoo,
yeah.
and you get that whiff of it, you get instantly transported back. You're like, that is the hay, horse piss, shit smell.
It's kind of like imagine there's somehow a wooden jar, like it's made of wood, but somehow nothing escapes it, and you just put some horse shit in there. Like that's pretty much the smell.
Musty, nasty ass.
Yes, but
Boxcars, not much better. I'd say
possibly
from
worse.
experience after riding many a boxcar. Yeah.
Solving mysteries that were pretty easy. In fact, people are probably just like, "Will you stop trying to solve this mystery we already got?" No, I will solve it.
The only
Back in the
mystery I was
boxcar.
trying to solve was which homeless person stole my goddamn lunch. That's okay. They paid.
That's
Anyway.
good for you. Wow. We're unloading so much. As
Well,
much
just
as they've
like this
unloaded this
episode.
episode. Exactly. Again, full circle. So no, good episode, good like reveal without again giving away too much. There's still enough mystery in there, but good character building as well. So yeah, I liked it. Good stuff, and I'm sure there's more good stuff on the way. And
I hope so.
yes, let's run away and never look back.
No. But I'll totally throw you into a boxcar.
Let's do it. Wait.